need to get back to platinum anyway.
Okay.
I hope queue times aren't bad today. They were horrible yesterday. Do you play PC or console? It's on PC.
We will do our best.
You play on PC, but with a controller, right?
I actually, funny enough, I play on both. So on both Xbox and PC. Yeah. So it just depends on kind of what my vibe is for that day.
They're all talking about screenshotting my settings in the chat right now. Because I was switching it to colorblind. I showed literally everything trying to find it.
Yeah, yeah.
Someone's like, clip the settings.
Clip it.
It's like, my settings aren't even that great. I came from Overwatch, and I learned from one of my buddies about like where your sensitivity should be. And it was something like, you should be able to, like, if you put your mouse in the center and then move it all the way to the right, it should be a full 180. Or all the way to the left should be a full 180. And so I set it like that for Overwatch, and I've just ran with that same kind of mindset for every game.
100%.
And then I just never change it after that.
Yep. Makes total sense.
And then I try and get the ADS and the hip fire to the same sensitivity, so it's not like bouncing if I'm like switching between them.
Yeah.
I think I have a weird TikTok where I'm shooting a flatline and I'm like tapping ADS to like find him because it was like a weird like smoky situation. So I would like hip fire to find him and then ADS to beam him and like switch back and forth. And everyone's like, what on earth are you doing?
Yeah, no, I mean that, and that's the thing too, is that, you know, what it ultimately comes down to is, you know, I just want people to understand that everybody's so different that it's almost next to impossible to find like a perfect sense that applies for everybody, you know. So whatever, I'm not one for changing sensitivity because it's so up to what people want to do. So right here, good call with relinquishing because they're gonna take you wherever. The Discord is synced up with the Twitch right now, so I'm gonna do So I'm gonna do my best. So what I'm gonna do is there's probably gonna be a slight delay. So I'm not gonna. What I'm gonna end up doing is I'm gonna watch your fights, and then after your fights end, I'm gonna give notes because if I start sort of backseat gaming for you, it's gonna really confuse the hell out of you. Unless I have something that's just completely just relevant to say. But I'm really excited, man. I'm very excited.
Have you 200 IQ'd the holo sprays yet?
What's up? Say that one more time.
You can like really fake people out with the holo sprays and it's hilarious.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely a good call. Definitely a good call.
Mira, someone's out there. They're far.
Oh hell yeah! Right off the bat.
Let's go. Nice shot.
Come on, compadre, get up. Come on.
Oh, it's dangerous.
Start time.
Up.
Down one.
Nice shots. Let's go.
Reloading. Let's be honest. I'm the only real champion here. And I'm throwing something.
200 IQ gaming right there.
Let's go. Good push.
New kill leader.
We have another team coming in.
Syringe here.
Just giving my shield a recharge.
So one thing I noticed you do is your wall peaks, you overextend a little bit. So when you're peeking over a wall, be very conscious of how far over the wall you peek. So if you're like moving outside of a wall, don't expose your body too much. Keep it super tight to the wall, so if at any given point you could always like duck back for cover, and you don't have to do a full sprint. You know what I mean? You want to take those wall peaks and just really tighten them up.
Okay. We've been here too long. Hey, let's move on.
Attention. The kill leader has been eliminated.
I need it.
Enemy spotted.
Oh, I hate having so much.
Yes. It's tough.
They spotted me. I'm taking shots.
Reloading.
Good laser.
I just got stuck.
Look out, grenade. Patching myself up.
Are they really not going to push me right now? I love these. Gold lobbies are the best.
Un momento, healing.
Frag out. Frag out.
I would even use your jump pad to take height and like get on top.
Reloading. Watch out.
These thermites.
Nice shots on the
Can't believe I'm standing still. You're
lifeline.
lucky, I like it.
Well played. So at any given point, you know, what if you use your if you use your jump pad in order to, you know, get on top of sorting, you can still look down on your team. So don't feel like you're giving your team too much of a disadvantage if you're going away like that, because you could always like reposition. Like the whole idea with you being Octane is that you're fast, right? So you want to be as sporadic as possible. You want to be hard to hit and you want to be very unpredictable. So I want you to be like kind of keep that in the back of your head, is how can I be as unpredictable as possible here, and how can I take a different angle to help my team fight? Because right now you have a lifeline who is immobile and you have a Wraith who can reposition. So with that, you being conscious of that, you know, be creative, you know what I mean? Take different angles, take different fights, you know, get up on places that they wouldn't expect you to be, because one shield break can change the whole direction of a fight.
Oh, 100%.
Definitely good shots though. Your aiming's on point. Your aiming and your tracking's on point. I literally have no notes. Like I wish I could tell you to, you know, do this and do that, but I have no notes. You're doing really good. Just keep practicing. That's all it is.
Do they have a... Someone might actually have one.
Gotta hop up here. Select fire. Heavy ammo here.
Can you ask him about caustic tips? Do you have caustic tips?
Caustic tips.
Play aggressively, right?
Play aggressive. Yeah. Exactly. So you want to flip the role of your character. So if you're Watson, Caustic, or you know, a Gibby, I want you to practice playing him offensively. Because what's gonna happen is you're gonna get so good, you're gonna get so like on it in terms of like how to play his kit, that when it comes time to play Caustic in a defensive way, the way he's made to be played, you're gonna have way higher game sense. So that's why I'm telling Frags, I take a more defensive approach with Octane, because, you know, with him playing arguably one of the most aggressive characters in the game, he's gonna, like, the whole idea is that the amount of creativity that Frags can have with Octane is pretty endless. So he's gonna be able to do things like, you know, use his jump pad. You know, I want you to start using that jump pad and repositioning mid-fight. Like, I want you to literally break someone, drop that jump pad, get into like a weird corner or weird, like, you know, I don't even know, like, just, you know, take the roof, take the, you know, the balconies. I want you to take, you know, the pipes and sorting pad. I want you to get really creative with those jump pads, because it's gonna help your team tremendously.
That was a weird portal place.
That was a weird portal. So when you're out in the open like this, you can always stim from rock to rock, because as you're in ranked right now, you can sort of like, you really don't have any idea of where people are at. So always just kind of like, you know, stim from cover to cover and then slow it down. Stim from cover to cover, slow it down. Stim from cover to cover, slow it down. Make sure you're always playing some sort of angle where they can't shoot you. Right here, you could even, I'm a little delayed, but you could even like stim up closer to the rock and then hug the wall type of vibe.
Target over
I don't know
there.
where these dudes went.
Firing. Hostile over there.
Frag out!
My
Reloading.
Good shots.
recharging
behind the box over here.
Go here.
Recharging my shields.
So that guy on that box is taking his angles really tight, and he just moved over, which is really good. So what I would do is I would take the roof of the building you're talking about. Again, forgive me, I'm a little delayed.
Charge.
Yeah, that was bad positioning.
You tried, and that's all that matters.
Okay, so your mistake there. Good job, by the way. So you had a lot of good shots on the guy with the box. I think the key with so after you dropped, excuse me, after you dropped about a mag in that guy in the box, that was a really good. And like I said, forgive me because I'm not gonna really backseat game too much because it'll really mess you up. So what I would have done there, your better play, and actually let's go back to your VOD. Is there a way you can pull up your VOD? Okay. So we're going to talk about what the play was there.
I think it's gonna be bad quality though.
It's okay.
There we go.
As long as you get the sort of the general idea of it, that's what we care about.
Go to the roof, right?
Good shots. Wonderful. Okay, so let's watch this. So right now you're shooting the guy on the box. Okay, so after, I think it's the second time you shoot him. I'm trying to look.
Yeah, I beam him once. I think it's the third one.
Okay, yeah,
It's
I
right
think
here,
it was
it's right here.
one.
Recharging my shields.
Okay, yeah, so after you beam him there, that's your chance to get up to where your team is at. So what I would have done is instead of taking first floor where your lifeline was, what I would have done instead, and actually go back to where you start to push up to the building. Go back to like right after you beam the guy that was on the boxes. What I would have done there is I would have actually just climbed either on the blue box or outside the balcony, and that way you're on the height. Because by going in the
Talking about
lifeline,
this one, right? This blue box?
yes, exactly. That's the box I would have climbed up on. So what I would have done is I would have used that box, climb up, and that way you're on the balcony. So going in the first floor where your lifeline was, that was the more predictable sense, and that's ultimately what threw. Because even though they're fenced off on the second floor, you know, you can climb up to that balcony from outside, and actually go right before you go to the balcony. Right before you go to the balcony to your lifeline. Go right before I'm trying to, again,
like
forgive
right
me, I'm a
here.
little delayed. Like right when you climb up the railing and just hit pause.
Yeah, it's like right here.
Yep. So that little pipe right there, you could have climbed up. And
I didn't know you could climb up that pipe.
you can. So there's something new. Everything, you know, every day you're gonna learn something new. And I want you to go ahead and I want you to be very conscious of what angles am I taking, and I want you to ask yourself before into the fight. I want you to ask yourself, is this predictable? And if the answer is yes, then you need to change the vibe. Again, you're Octane. You have so much room here, Frags, to be so creative in your fight and take so many different angles that you're almost doing yourself a disservice to not use the kit that has been given to you. This is going to be what separates you from a platinum player and a diamond player to a master of pred player. These little details right here. So you did a great job. So last kind of, you know, consensus, excuse me, of that fight is this. After you beam the guy on the boxes, he's gonna heal. What does that allow you to do? You have a 3v2 at that moment with your team. Okay, so what you do is you ape the people that are in the building. How do you do that? You take an angle that is not expected. Okay, so that would have been, you have a lot of different options there. You could go in through the balcony. You could even go to the front door, sort of peek the stairs, but not totally go through the front door. Just kind of like, you know, pop to the door. Obviously being aware of the team, or not the team, sorry, the enemy that was by the boxes, you know, he's healing during this time. So being aware that, you know, eventually that guy is going to be pushing up. So, you know, and even so, I don't know if you could do this either, but there's a little window on that building. You know, if you're on the roof, you could even peek through if you're on the roof, you could peek through that window.
That's dirty.
And even, yeah, so there's so many options, you know, and again, go ahead and ready up when you get a chance, but there's so many options for you to be so creative so creative with this character, and I want you to, like I said, when it comes to your jump pad, it's so muscle memory for you to push with it. I want you to use it in a defensive way, okay? So that means if you had your jump pad, you could easily just take roof, boom, you're there. You know, you're on the balcony, you're spraying. And then another thing that I want to point out is something very simple that I use for even myself. So this isn't an Octane thing. This is just an everybody thing. So what I want you to do is I never want you to shoot twice from the same angle. I want you to pepper your opponent, hit 40 to 60, change the angle. Pepper your opponent, hit 100, change the angle. Pepper your opponent for another 50, break a shield, change the angle. I never want you to be in the same spot twice. The less predictable, you're playing a game that offers some of the best movement that the first-person shooter community has ever seen. So you need to complete, and not only does this game have movement, but you're also the moviest character in the game. So, you know, utilize that. You have a Q, use it. You have a jump pad, use them. You know, it's going to be so good for you to sort of take all these different fights. And honestly, you're very talented. You just got to be less predictable. It's just that simple.